So exciting times happening in the market today. We have just wrapped up an amazing, awesome week in the markets. And I want to share with you what I'm seeing right now across the stocky market. And also, let's actually cover the metals and miners as well too. Tell you what, guys, rocket man, let's go. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. I'm actually running a webinar today on how I trade the markets, my trading system, my scanning tools that I use to look for trades, and the big thing that I had to do to go from $250,000 in debt to then obviously doing really well from the markets. Anyway, so first thing in the description, guys, go join the webinar today. You're gonna love it. Here is the thing, guys. I mean, really, what an incredible, awesome finish to the end of this year it's going to be. And everything is building up really nicely. On a first level basis, when we're looking at the S&P 500, I've noticed that there's a few things here. And the interesting thing is about the markets, right? Is that the markets love to use major support or major resistance levels, and they love to run to them, right? You probably heard that, right? It's like, right. You've probably heard that, and it's true that a market loves to run, and when it runs to a next major significant resistance level. And so when we're looking at the S&P 500, we can see that, and the reason why I've personally been long this entire year, and for you guys have been following me now for 6 months or more, you would know I've been saying, don't fight the market, right? Don't fight it. Of what we're seeing through here. So the good of what's happening now is we're continuing this upward trend, and we're probably likely to, we may even spend, or I'm expecting to see another maybe a few days to a week, maybe just continue being volatile through here on the S&P. But then I do see leading into the end of this month and it's into December, I do see a break and then a very, very, very strong move. And I do see the S&P 500 making a run towards the top of this trend line. Now, this line here is at the end of this year. So if I squeeze up and I bring this out a little bit more, this is the end of this year. So if we go sideways for a bit and we break out and we go for another big move like we do here, which I'm expecting, then we can see that we're probably going to get to the 5,300, 5,400 by the end of this year. And so that's what I'm looking at through there, traders. I'm seeing this thing happening right now, and I'm seeing what's going on right now with it. And it's just interesting to see what's happening with the S&P. So this is all I'm using is just the major trend line through here, guys. And this is the end of this year. If we spend a bit of time just going sideways through here and we break this channel, then guess what? We're going to run to this major channel up here. That's M for major. And then we're probably going to start to do this, and we make our way up to probably X marks the spot, because you can see the angle of this ascent is probably like that somewhere through there. And then we pick back up again and we continue making some nice move from there. So I'm expecting, guys, maybe a bit of a quiet period next week. It may not be. We just may continue breaking and running. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a bit more volatility happening into next week, up and down, and then a break and then a run to the end of this year. So very, very, very strong on the S&P 500. Moving over through to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq actually had a bit of a nice strong bounce, but as you can see, for me personally, guys, I've always had a 17,000 target for this entire year, and you can see that that's where my line is. But to me, looking at this here, we have a shorter term channel, but then this shorter term channel right now is inside the big long term channel from there to there, as you can see. So that tells me that we may spend a bit of time going sideways, but once we break this, then we're probably going to run up to this level up here, which is just this other side of this channel. And that's all the market. The market loves to do that, right? It bounces off between, and that's what develops channels and so on and so forth. So when the market runs, we're probably going to hit that level there as resistance, and we're probably going to get to there around that. I've always had a 17,000 target, but that actually looks quite conservative right now, because that's only about, how far is that? That's only about 6% away. So we're probably going to beat that and best that. Looking at the Russell 2000, we made a higher low, higher low, higher low. So we're compressing up when we broke out. We had a bit of a pullback now. Not really much going on right now what's happening with the Russell. But I do see, looking at this here, just a simple regression. And let me just make that a little bit thicker. So I can just keep the theme simple and consistent with the other ones that I was looking at as well. With the S&P, you can see how that, I do believe with the move coming into December, we're probably going to make our way back up towards the top of this channel. So maybe even, maybe 290, 300 level, if this thing continues in this direction, 290, 300 over the next, maybe even January or February next year. But that's what we're seeing on the good old Russell. Very, very, very big, strong moves across the markets today, guys, especially in the home builder index. Home builder index up 2%. So we're making some really, really, really nice moves. In fact, let me do some live analysis with you right now. So we can see that, and I'm just going to do this here. So we can see that this was a major low through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress this up a bit so I can actually just draw some trend lines. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this one major low, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this major low through here. See what I'm doing through there, traders? That's all I'm doing. It's right. It's just very, very simple. This is that major low down here, right? The last big massive low, and just that recent low. And all I'm doing is I'm just creating. Just let me make a bit of thing. I'm creating that, and I'm trying to say, okay, is there any? And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a parallel trend line, which simply means the exact same angle, and see this high up here. I'm going to use that high. I'm going to project that up through there, and I'm going to use that high through to there. And I'm going to use that as that right there. Now, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at this back here as well too, right? So I've just done that major low point through there, right there. We've broken out of this level now as well too, which is we're breaking up. So we may get a bit of a backing pattern, and then away we go, right? This is why it's so important to trade with the market, because we had a big move up. So even if we do get a bit of a pullback in the home builder index, doesn't mean the market's going to change, right? It's just probably just a pullback before you see a big move again. But look at this here. It actually, the back in the vid situation, right? When we actually had this little run up and then a pullback, it rejected it there and rejected there. But see that's the exact same angle. So to me, it looks like the home builder index, especially right now, again, we may get a bit of a backing pattern pullback, but we're probably going to make our way back up towards the top up here, just the top of the channel. So really, really, really interesting stuff. Quick little update across the good old silver and gold industry as well too. Gold continued just having a really nice sort of sideways range here, but really staying consistent of this breakout, guys. You can see we have this low point, higher low, but we were in this sort of, let me take that off the screen there. So there's actually not too many trend lines. Let me take that off the screen there. Right, so you can see this, especially this triangle pattern that we're in. And now we're getting a very solid breakout from here, especially with these higher lows. Gold is looking really, really good year, really good. And it looks like this is going to be a very good bullish year in 2022 for gold. And we may just be getting started with that as well too. Moving over now through to silver. And silver, what a beautiful bounce this is, right? What a beautiful, look at this here. We had the big V bottom, came down, bounced off this low here, and then ran. We're starting to ram back up again. So this is probably going to be the start of quite a nice move to the upside. And same for the GDX as well. We had this false breakout, bear trap if you want to call it, bull trap, whatever you call it, right? I call it a slingshot pattern. The market came down, had back up. That's why I'm calling this low here the final low for many years to come. We had this beautiful high low now. We're breaking past previous highs. We're in a beautiful upward trend. So that's what I'm seeing through there, traders. Right, it's just a beautiful, the good and the bad of what's happening right now. And this is actually looking really, really, really good for an incredible finish towards the end of the year. It looks like everything is going to make a big move. Looks like stocks, commodity prices, it looks like it's going to be a very, very, very good finish towards the end of this year. So traders, make sure you head on down that very first link in the description. Click on that and join my next webinar, and I'll show you exactly how I trade the markets, my scan into how I find my trades, and a whole bunch of down home country goodness. First link in the description, traders, and I'll speak to you real soon.